Please, won't you have a seat? Please be seated. Good afternoon. My name is Charlotte Gifford, and I serve as the chair of World Languages here at GCC. It is my honor to welcome you today to the inauguration of Michelle Shute, the 11th president of Greenfield Community College. Buenas tardes. Quisiera extenderles a todas y a todos la más cordial bienvenida a la investidura de nuestra presidenta, Michelle Shute. Mesdames, Messieurs, je voudrais souhaiter à toutes et à tous une chaleureuse bienvenue à l'investiture de notre présidente, Michelle Shute. Last fall, at our opening day, I heard our new president speak about the impact her educational path has had on her and her family. So I ask you to indulge me in a bit about mine. I am the child of two teachers. I am not a first-gen student, as both my parents went to college. However, my mother was. She grew up in Montreal, the oldest of four girls, and her father certainly had no expectations that his daughters would go to college. But my mother graduated first in her high school class, and when she won the accompanying full scholarship, her dad somewhat reluctantly agreed to let her go to college as long as she still lived at home and went to McGill College right there in Montreal. She opened the door for her three sisters, and they followed suit and all completed their degrees. And their children, my cousins and I, did the same. My mother's persistence and determination were passed down to all of us. Greenfield Community College has been my professional home now for 36 years. I landed here by chance, but I stayed by conviction. Because of the college's mission of open access to excellent education for all learners. Because of this remarkable, comprehensive college's strong offerings in liberal arts and science and professional programs. Because of its human scale and personal touch, the engagement between and among faculty, staff, and students that a colleague dubbed our secret sauce. I've had a lot of varied perspectives on this institution, from the ground level, if you will, to 30,000 feet. I've been over the years an adjunct instructor, a full-time faculty member, a department chair, a co-chair of our reaccreditation team, interim dean of humanities, and most recently, the head of our system of shared college governance. And it's in that context this last year that I've worked directly with Michelle to build our new College Council. I'd say that from all those perspectives, I know this institution well, its history, its people, its culture. And we at GCC can point with pride to our top-of-the-heap status in many of the key indicators that the state tracks, especially our graduation and retention rates. Now, undeniably, in this day and age, higher education faces challenges with escalating costs and very real concerns about mounting student debt. Unfortunately, some take this to question the value itself of a college education. But in my view, the data do not support this conclusion. In survey reports by the AAC&U and the Bureau of Labor Statistics, employers list quite consistently the skills they seek, including such skills as critical thinking, effective oral and written communication, problem solving, navigating cross-cultural contexts. And a few years ago, GCC replicated an AAC&U employer survey, and our results were the same locally. They were looking for the same skills. This research underscores the need for the very competencies that students gain in core coursework in the liberal arts and sciences. I believe my discipline, World Languages and Cultures, offer a real sweet spot for liberal arts and workforce competencies. It's hard to name a field in the 21st century where functional proficiency in another language would not be a distinct advantage in the world of work. And many fields now offer pay differentials for these essential skills in 2 languages. And a note of pride here for GCC. This year, an additional 15 students earned their Global Seal of Biliteracy, an external credential in language. Yay! Thank you. Here's the thing. All these key learnings that employers want take time. They are skills that build on each other, between and across disciplines. There are no shortcuts or quick fixes. I don't know of any substitutes to get these outcomes. I believe the foundational learning of a liberal arts education, as seen in GCC's excellent programs, is essential to developing future employees. So it's not a choice between the liberal arts and workforce development. I believe that's a false dichotomy. It's the liberal arts and workforce development. It's the liberal arts as workforce development. That's what we do at GCC. Perhaps more importantly, that's who we are. GCC will continue to innovate in our degrees, in our certificates, and in our workforce development offerings. GCC will continue to serve our area as the community's college. I thank you for coming to this inauguration ceremony. We are happy that you have joined us here today for Michelle's inauguration. So again, I say, bienvenidos, bienvenue, welcome all. And now, will you please join us as we stand for our national anthem performed by GCC student Tommy Dare.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. That was amazing. It is now my pleasure to introduce the chair of the Greenfield Community College Board of Trustees, Hector Toledo.
Good afternoon. Hope everyone's doing well. And I was promised a stiff breeze, but I guess we're on the wrong side of the tent. First off, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. It's a very special occasion. Dr. Schutt has been a great addition to GCC and to the GCC family. She came to us with a wide open mind and a passion for higher education, the two things that you really can't teach. Somebody either has it or they don't. That combination has me excited for the future of GCC, its students, team members, and the communities we support in both Franklin and Hampshire County. I'm equally excited and pleased to have so many of our legislative delegation with us in attendance today. With us today are Senator Paul Mark, Representative Susanna Whips, and Representative Natalia Blaze. Our next speaker, Senator Joe Comerford, has been a strong advocate for Greenfield Community College and the region in the Massachusetts Senate. Please join me in welcoming him, Senator Joe Comerford.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for that warm welcome. Madam President, esteemed trustees, Mayor Wiedegartner, Representative Blais, and we are conveying warmest regards from Representative Whips, who had to travel on a family matter, honored guests, faculty, staff, and amazing students. I am so honored to speak today during this inauguration of Dr. Michelle Schutt in celebration of our new president and the boundless opportunities and promise embodied by Greenfield Community College. There is such joy under this tent. There's hope, excitement, as we welcome a tireless, tenacious, ambitious, rising star. Madam President. I promise I wouldn't gush too much, but I have to. It is clear to anyone who has witnessed President Schutt's breathtaking embrace of our region and her embrace of the unparalleled equity engine that is Greenfield Community College, that this is the place for Dr. Schutt. A few weeks back, I met Higher Education Commissioner Noe Ortega with GCC President Michelle Schutt, and as we toured campus, we talked candidly about the power of public higher education to radically transform a person, a family, a community's trajectory. We talked about necessary efforts to strip away barriers to access and success, about work to wrap around services and supports that account for the total cost of college, different from tuition and fees. In order to see a student through to completion, that is the work that I witness here at GCC, and the benefits of this work are limitless. After the tour, we sat together in the President's office to name the pain points that must be addressed if we want this goal. And yes, even among the promise, even among the joy under this tent, there is pain wrought by decades of underfunding of the bedrock of institutions like GCC. I left feeling so very grateful for President Schutt's laser focus, her ideas, her candor, her courage, her partnership. And we're going to need that all as the Massachusetts Senate and House embark on transformational investments in higher education, in public higher education, and the Senate's goal of making community college free to every single person who wants to attend beginning in the fall of 2024. Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois, a prophetic force, I know you know him, for justice, issued a searing call to action, quote, "Of all the civil rights for which the world has struggled and fought for 5,000 years, the right to learn is undoubtedly the most fundamental." The right to learn. President Schutt knows that we must welcome all students to public higher education in a way that they know they belong. that they have a right to learn, a right to college. This philosophy is a cornerstone of Greenfield Community College, where beautiful banners, as many of you know, hang across campus that read, "You belong here." How lucky are we that President Shute has arrived in Massachusetts for this historic comeback moment for public higher education. I'll call it a comeback moment, and community colleges specifically. How lucky are we? Well, I'll answer my own question by closing with, we are so very, very lucky that Dr. Shute will be GCC's president. Very, very lucky. It is now my pleasure to welcome to the stage someone who needs no introduction, I think, to business leaders and academics and community leaders across Franklin County, both for her belief in our community and her vibrant personality and her own tireless engine. Jessie Dean, Executive Director of the Franklin County Chamber of Commerce.
Good afternoon. As Senator Comerford just said, my name is Jessie Dean, and I'm the Executive Director of the Franklin County Chamber of Commerce and Regional Tourism Council. It is an honor to be with you all here today for what truly is a celebration, not just for Greenfield Community College, but for our entire region. As we know, the significance of Greenfield Community College is right there in the name. GCC is not just a community college. GCC is this community college. Like many of us here today, I am a proud GCC alum. Thank you. I enrolled in my first GCC course when I was 15, so just a few short years ago. And while I definitely could have benefited from some math or science courses at the time, I instead opted to take an intro to acting class, which was taught by, there we go, some actors in the audience, which was taught by a then semi-famous retired soap opera star. Now, let me tell you, I wasn't in that class too long before I realized a couple things. First, I hated being in front of the camera, hated it. And two, the camera hated me being in front of the camera. Apparently, I possess no natural acting abilities. But even so, I was in that classroom and I gained confidence, which can be tough to come by at that age. And I felt supported by my classmates of all ages to take risks and be silly, which, let's remember, we were reading soap opera scripts, so things were pretty silly as a baseline. But in that classroom, everyone felt welcomed and supported and safe. And that feeling is the through line of this campus, no matter the course or the curriculum. That's the magic of GCC. This college creates a deeply supportive space for Franklin County, Hampshire County, and Southern Vermont students of all ages with different dreams to explore their passions and pursue career-driven career paths, which will through accessible, affordable, practical, quality higher education. I am humbled by what I've seen of Dr. Schute's commitment to carrying that legacy on for Franklin County and beyond. Over the past couple of months, I've had the opportunity to work alongside Dr. Shute on a number of community-based committees, and I've learned a few things. First, she does her homework, pun intended. As we know, here in Franklin County, it is not uncommon to be a resident for 25 or 35 years and still be considered new to town. So by Franklin County standards, Dr. Shute is still in the infancy of her residency, and yet in every meeting that I've had with her, I have been impressed. She's showcased a comprehensive understanding of the complexities and the strengths that make this area so unique and ripe with potential. I will willingly admit that I have smothered the urge to say, "Way to go, Idaho," on more than one occasion. Second, Dr. Shute is a champion for Greenfield Community College. And like us, she believes in its real power to bring positive change to the region. It's clear that she comes to this college as a servant leader, and I know that if it were up to her, this event wouldn't be about her at all, and instead it would be exclusively a celebration of the college's achievements, of its incredible faculty and staff, and of course, its students. Thankfully, she's new and she doesn't have that kind of pull quite yet, otherwise I'd miss this chance to wear this fancy hat. But it's from that framework that she recalibrates the focus of the college away from its leadership and back on to the community its leadership serves. And finally, I appreciate that Dr. Schutt sees the big picture. She sees GCC for the economic engine it is and that we desperately need it to be. We can no longer support a one-size-fits-all trajectory for educational success, and Dr. Schutt gets that. She understands that as we continue to come out of this pandemic, we have to look and lean on GCC as a regional workforce development partner. We need to look to GCC to help us create new pathways that are responsive and innovative, that marry higher education and technical job skills training, so that we can meet a rising demand and we can disrupt traditional workforce development to critically ensure that our residents, especially our lower income residents, can effectively build wealth for their families here in Franklin County. That is the goal. Now, Dr. Schutt understands that the stakes are high. I think we all do. The world demands adaptability and reinvention, but Michelle brings momentum and vision, and I couldn't be more thrilled to celebrate this new era of leadership at GCC that will propel Franklin County forward. So, and you know I mean all of that because as I said, I am a truly terrible actor. So, Dr. Schutt, on behalf of our entire community, let me extend our commitment to you that you can count on the Chamber of Commerce and our businesses and nonprofits of Franklin County to help make GCC a model for the rest of the country as we continue to build a thriving, inclusive, vibrant community in which all of its residents have equal access to higher education and workforce development. Thank you. Congratulations. Our next speaker has been a champion in our community for years, starting as an alumni in the 90s and eventually becoming a GCC trustee and a trustee liaison to the GCC Board of Directors. Please give a warm welcome to Judith Roberts.
Thank you so much. So we're here today to celebrate Dr. Michelle Schutt, who I am fortunate enough to call friend, and also to celebrate what we do best at Greenfield Community College, teaching and learning. And Michelle is both a teacher and a learner. She continues to teach us about the opportunities and challenges that we face ahead for Greenfield Community College. And she continues to learn as she thoughtfully listens to her GCC community and to the greater community. So today we also honor our heritage of 60 years of serving our community with access to high quality education. And we live our values, teaching, learning, inclusivity, and empowerment for all our students. Today we hold dear our mission, which in case you forgot, I'm going to read to you. Greenfield Community College provides a high-quality education to all who seek the knowledge and skills necessary to thrive and affect positive change in their lives, their communities, and the world. And today we look to our future. We know there's challenges ahead, but they're not insurmountable. And what better person to lead us than Dr. Schutt? Recently, in a meeting, when faced with a problem, I heard Michelle say, "It doesn't have to be this way. We can change. We can pivot." Michelle's flexibility and resilience will stand us in good stead as we forge our future. Her passion for equity in higher education aligns perfectly with GCC's mission. I'm a graduate here, and what I learned from attending the community college is this: what we think matters, what we say matters, what we write matters, what we do matters. We all matter, all of us. It took me 13 years to graduate from Greenfield Community College. Not the typical student, but there's some of us out there. Took me 13 years to graduate, taking one course a semester while I worked full-time and raised my children as a single mom. And thank you. I don't know if we exactly want that model, but anyway, it worked for me. All of my children ended up in college while I was in college. So, as the mission says, we effected positive change for ourselves and our community, and thereby changed the world. So to the students out there, if you're wondering if you can change the world, the answer is yes. Armed with a college education, you too can change the world. And President Shute will be here holding the door open of opportunity for those who want to make a better life for themselves and a better world. Thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce Patrick Tanner, Interim Dean of Enrollment Management.
Good afternoon. We're here today to celebrate, nope, we are here to celebrate, Michelle, we are. But let me give my speech. Good afternoon. Board members, President Shute, elected officials, community partners, alumni, students, faculty, and staff. We are gathered here not only to celebrate Dr. Shute, but to celebrate Greenfield Community College. We have assembled to participate in a tradition. We have come to join in community, to be present and bear witness to what may seem to be a moment in time, but is more appropriately referred to as a moment in history. Speaking of history, it is clear that my historical perspective as a rookie here on the GCC team is relevant. I joined this amazing institution just 3 months ago, so my perspective is unique. It is not better or worse than those who grew up in the Pioneer Valley and have served here at the college for decades, just different. And we know that perspective matters. On a recent flight, I sat next to a woman who was flying for the first time since 1984. She was refreshingly stunned upon takeoff to look at the houses below, remarking how much we invest in our places, especially where we live, only to literally rise above our daily perspective and see how small a house really is. Perspective matters. Many here today have known President Shute for roughly 12 months or perhaps a little less. And if my math is correct, I met Michelle roughly 13 years ago. We worked together in a variety of capacities in that time, mostly as colleagues with similar positions in similar locations, over time developing what I feel is a good working relationship, and we've collaborated on work projects, made presentations. And knowing her for so long may also mean that I have a few stories to share, if anyone wants to ask me when I'm not in front of a microphone. We've moved from collaborative colleagues now to a new level of professional relationship. She is now my boss's boss. Perspective matters. But I'm not here to spill the tea today. Perhaps we can schedule a roast for your 5-year anniversary? Okay. I see my role today as sharing my perspective with all of you relative to who our president really is. But in truth, you know who she is. In fact, I'd argue that in a very brief period of time, her first few weeks and months on the job, I believe with great conviction that she has shared with you from the depths of her heart. She has led with strength of purpose, clarity of vision, and from a perspective that honors individual students, the enterprise that is GCC, as well as the communities that make up this region. She leads with her heart, and this is a perspective that matters more than a few words at a formal ceremony can articulate. And this heart of hers, it is a heart of gold. She means it when she talks about elevating students and changing family trees. She means it when she talks about being a hub for economic and workforce development. She means it when she talks about prioritizing justice and equitable outcomes for all. She and I have had more than a few conversations about what students need and deserve from higher education. And I've not only felt, but I've seen Michelle's heart break for students who have been abandoned or even swindled by our industry. And as I was contemplating the many strengths that she brings to her work, the one that rose to the surface was her undying belief that what got us here will not be what gets us to where we're going. Another way to say this is that Michelle's leadership style, her heart, and her vision for our students and our community can be summarized by her abilities as a fearless change leader. Yes, she is a good change manager, but more importantly, she is an amazing change leader. Even in less than a year, we can all point to more than a handful of changes she is leading that will fundamentally adjust our work, hone our expertise, and work towards mission fulfillment more efficiently and effectively. I'm not here to teach or preach about change theories or strategies, but I believe that we all need to understand that even though she is humbled by her role as president, Dr. Shute is absolutely energized by a sense of calling and responsibility to understand the needs of students, business and industry leaders, and higher education in its depth and in its breadth. Her perspective is that she must never waver from what she knows is right. She must never waver from prioritizing student learning and equitable student success. She believes, and I think we all need to know this about her, that the role of president at Greenfield Community College is one that must not only understand the gravity that comes with the necessity of the institution, but also as president that she will harness the best of each of us to break through the barriers and inertia of that gravity to take us all on a rocket ship into the brightest future possible. May we all take a lesson from President Shute to join in her perspective as we lead with grace, as we move forward with strength of decision-making, and as we hold space for each other and build our community together. Thank you. And now it is my honor to introduce Michelle's daughter, Gwendolyn Shute, to say a few words about her mother.
Hello, I am Gwendolyn Shute, and I was asked to speak today as the oldest child of Michelle and Clay Shute. But I'm also here to represent my siblings, Vivian, a freshman here at GCC, and Gabe, a freshman at Franklin County Tech. I myself am a junior at Framingham State University, majoring in ASL English Interpreting and minoring in Spanish. Until I was 11, when Mom graduated with her doctorate, I never knew a time she wasn't a student herself. Well, she worked full-time on a college university campus. She also was going to school. Mom likes to joke how she went to college when she was 18 and continued to get degrees for the next 19 years. This significantly shaped my household growing up. I even spent my childhood living in dorms while my mom was the director of housing. And let me tell you, the dorm seemed much cooler when I was 5 than it does now. But regardless, it was an amazing experience to have my childhood on a college campus. Growing up, we often heard that education was a path forward to a better life and greater opportunities. This philosophy grounded our time and traditions as a family. My parents have always been keen on giving us experiences over gifts, and I even remember that every 3-day weekend was filled with a family trip that was involved with way too many hours in a minivan, broken up with walking through museums, hiking national parks, touring college campuses, or watching migratory animals. And it always included our favorite modest parking lot sandwiches. We were encouraged and supported to explore our interests, and recently, my siblings and I took an inventory of all the things we have taken part in over the years, which include violin, karate, baseball, 4-H, theater, art, FFA, swimming, scouts, gymnastics, basketball, band, soccer, dance, and speech and debate. Don't worry, I think the list ends there. As we grew up, it didn't matter if my siblings and I would go to college, but where we would go after and what our major would be. This was, of course, after transferring from our local community college. And yes, Gabe, I'm looking at you because this will be your future too. I was truly fortunate to go to high school in a state where dual credit was offered and be a part of a family where it was supported. Dual credit gave me college experience while I was in high school, so when I entered college full-time, I was ready to jump into the content-specific portion of my degree. We had open conversations as a family about what I would major in, and I was encouraged to find something I was passionate about, I was capable of accomplishing, that would provide me choices, and that I would be able to financially support myself with. When it came to transferring to university, my parents encouraged me to visit all of the schools on my final list because they knew it was important for me to get my feet on the ground. As the oldest, I have the most memories of my mom working hard for her career and academic goals. There were times where it seemed a bit confusing as to why we moved so often as she climbed her career ladder, or why we didn't have some of the other things our friends and families had, such as a house van or an RV, because we were so sick of that minivan. The truth is, we all made sacrifices so that Mom was able to achieve her goal of becoming a college president and ultimately changing our family tree. Growing up in an atmosphere that was surrounded by love for learning and encouragement to continue on the path of educational attainment was an experience that I will forever be grateful for. My siblings and I always talk about how our parents walked so that the rest of us could run, and I have been given so many opportunities in this life that I'm forever grateful for and will never be able to repay. And becoming an adult, I know that the strong educational foundation my mom has provided me has opened doors that will one day give my children similar or even enhanced experiences. Mom, thank you for giving us a path to a better life, and thank you for showing us the importance of working hard to get what you want. I know that this hasn't been the easiest journey for you, but I'm so proud of all that you have accomplished, and I am unbelievably grateful that you are my role model. I know that you're going to do great things here at Greenfield Community College, and I'm excited to see you grow this community. Thank you. Now please welcome the guest of honor, my mother and my friend, President Michelle Shute. I would also like to invite Student Senate President Melissa Kosmiski and Vice President Maggie Nason to come forward and say a few words as well as present the Presidential Medallion.
We're going to get my name right. Okay.
Thank you for inviting us to be part of this historic day. We are honored to be here to represent students and to welcome you on their behalf. My name is Melissa Kosmeski, and I have been part of the GCC community for over 8 years. I have enjoyed and appreciated being involved in several areas across campus as a work study and a student leader. During my time at the college, I have also had the honor of working with multiple presidents. One thing students and I have appreciated is how deeply our presidents are involved and engaged. Inclusion of the student voice at this inauguration is an example of that.
Hi, my name is Megan Nason. This is my first year at GCC, as Michelle's as well. Fun story and fun fact, first time I ever met Michelle, I had no idea who she was. She was gonna go take her picture out front, and I happened to be in an elevator with her, and I was like, I miss board games, and she was like, you know, I love board games too. No idea who she was. Went majority of my first semester, no idea. I, as someone who enjoys being involved, I jumped into every single thing I could get my hands on here at GCC. I've learned a lot, and I am the current student Senate, Vice President, and in the fall, I look to take the torch and help our new student director and student leader, as well as hopefully work with Michelle on some things we can improve on the college. I am eager to work closely with all of our leadership and the rest of our campus community. We think of Greenfield Community College is a strong, thriving, and diverse community. We are deeply appreciative of the support that the staff and faculty have given us here at GCC. And one of the things that we as students look for in a college is a sense of belonging, and we have that here at GCC. Shaping and molding the small college community is not just the job of the leaders, but of all of the members of this community. We are here to work together to support GCC's growth and strengthen its position as a beacon of hope in our community. New leaders bring forth new opportunities and challenge us to build and create new accomplishments that will bring GCC to the next level. This is not only for the students, but also for our community.
We are confident that these values of community and a focus on students will continue to be held as central to the college's mission and values. Let this medallion be a symbol of our belief in this institution and your charge to take us forward with students and their success at the heart of this college, which we have grown to love and care for very deeply.
Hello again. Please have a seat. First off, I want to thank Jesse for the Way to Go Idaho. I'd never heard that before and can't wait to use it on a regular basis. Today, the Board of Trustees pledges its commitment to Dr. Michelle Shute as Greenfield Community College's 11th president. Customarily, the chair of the Board of Trustees presents a medallion to the new president. However, today I'm granting the honor to Student Senate President and Vice President Melissa Kosmiski and Megan Nason, both of whom you just met. There it is. Dr. Shute, you have been appointed to serve as the 11th president of Greenfield Community College. By accepting this medallion, you commit to fulfilling the responsibilities of the president with unwavering vision and utmost integrity, upholding the esteemed reputation of this institution. We have full confidence in your leadership, knowing that you will strive for academic excellence and remain dedicated to serving the community we all love. By the authority of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I hereby install you as the 11th president of Greenfield Community College. And it's my pleasure to introduce Michelle Shute, the 11th president of Greenfield Community College. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
I too need to find my own speech, so that's a good start. Thank you, Hector, Megan, and Melissa. I want to start the beginning of this speech with gratitude that are here today and all the people that made this day possible. So I'd like to begin by thanking the GCC Board of Trustees, our elected officials, our community leaders, our members of the President's Cabinet, the GCC faculty, staff, and students, the MCCC and my fellow presidents, and our donors and community supporters who help GCC do the essential work that we do every single day. I'd also like to personally thank the GCC Inauguration Planning Committee, Facilities and Maintenance, Food Service, Communications and Marketing, IT, and GCC Foundation. I recognize that this did not happen with just one or two people's work. This was a group effort from start to finish. I also want to call out a heartfelt acknowledgement to my incredible assistant, Shannon LaRange, who with... There she is. She told me earlier she was going to get me on stage and go have a drink, so I wasn't sure she'd be here. But none of this could have happened without you, and I so appreciate working with you every single day. Thank you. As I look into the reserved seating, it feels a little bit like that old game show, This Is Your Life. Present today include my husband Clay and our 3 children, Gwendolyn, Vivian, and Gabriel, my undergraduate roommate, Kelly with an I, Record, and her husband Matt, my mentor and advisor for my bachelor degree, Dr. Gail Mormon-Barons, a dear friend and spiritual role model, Ms. Lily Bynan, along with friends Shirley Gilpin and Louise Cater. Penn State colleagues, Michelle Nicoteri, Matt Need, and John Tobin. I love us. I also want to thank my family, friends, and colleagues who are only able to join us through the power of technology. I extend a special call out to my parents, my brothers, my in-laws, my extended family members, and members of the CSI Care Team and Foundation, and so many others. The reality is I would not be here without the love, care, encouragement, and support of this entire village. So thank you. As Gwen shared with you earlier, I believe in the power of education to change family trees. Many of you know my own journey. I am a first-generation Pell-eligible college student. I always knew that education was my path forward, and the clarity by which my own education is impacting and influencing others, as well as my children's aspirations, also impacts the work that I have the opportunity to do every day here at GCC. It is because of this education and the power that it has that entire families and the futures are impacted generationally. In fact, when one person in a family attains a higher education credential, the effects can be seen 2 and 3 generations thereafter. Entire family tree trajectories change due to the power of education. Here are just a few ways that the power of education can be demonstrated. First of all, breaking the cycle of poverty. Education provides individuals with the knowledge and skills to attain better jobs and earn higher incomes. This allows individuals to create more stable and prosperous futures, and the effect is advanced social mobility and improved living conditions for the student and their entire family. Empowering future generations. The degree earner becomes a role model to siblings, cousins, and sometimes even their own parents. Seeing the successes and achievements of an educated family member can inspire and motivate others so that their own educational goals can be attained. This leads to a ripple effect of positivity with more family members seeking education and thereby improving their circumstance. Improved health outcomes and well-being. Education is linked to individuals making informed decisions about their health and adapting healthier lifestyles. And finally, strengthened communities. Education not only transforms individuals, but their families, and it has a broad impact on our communities. Educational attainment can lead to economic growth, reduced crime, increased civil engagement. The positive changes that education brings to families can extend to the community as a whole, creating a more civil and productive society. Yet despite these incredible outcomes, higher education has never faced a more fragile time in our country's history. This is a pivotal moment in our industry. Enrollments are down, and based on the birth rates during the Great Recession, they continue to decline through 2025. The rising cost of higher education makes it seem unattainable to many. The student loan debt has reached a record, with 44 million Americans owing $1.9 trillion collectively in student loan debt. Dozens of colleges have closed, and even more have merged. And perhaps more concerning is the data point that only half of Americans on both sides of the aisle believe that colleges and universities benefit our nation. Still, I approach this important work with incredible optimism. Community colleges were designed to guarantee access to affordable, high-quality higher education for all people. Community colleges are resilient and adaptive in the face of uncertainty. We are able to pivot and respond to economic fluctuations and industry demands more rapidly than any other type of college or university, all the while providing higher education to students with the fewest resources and the greatest obstacles. Community colleges serve the most demographically and socioeconomically diverse students, making higher education that would be unattainable for many students accessible for all students. Keeping this in mind, as we look to the future of GCC, we have an incredible opportunity to educate the residents for the future and to help create that civil, productive, healthy society where individuals achieve social mobility and robust living wages. Our continued success and growth will require GCC to create a future that is sustainable and relevant to the Pioneer Valley and beyond. The ways in which we are doing this include addressing the changing needs of the region with new and relevant programs, enhancing collaboration with community organizations, increasing enrollment and ensuring students graduate on time with less debt and prepared to transfer to four-year institutions or transition into the workforce. We are serving as a regional workforce partner, offering industry-recognized credentials in high-demand trades. We're providing financial and infrastructure stability, allowing GCC to serve our community into the long-term future. And finally, being the community's leader in civility, inclusivity, and positive change. When we are able to achieve these goals, we will be making significant impact on education, workforce, and the overall quality of life within our region. GCC will serve as a catalyst for social mobility, economic development, and community engagement, focusing and fostering growth and prosperity at the local level. I am incredibly honored and humbled to be serving as GCC's 11th president. I have every confidence that we will continue building the incredible reputation GCC has within our Commonwealth and within the region. Thank you for choosing to spend your afternoon here today, and thank you for committing to help GCC continue to change family trees. Thank you. Now I would like to introduce, I know we're not supposed to have favorites, but they really are some of my favorite young people outside of my own three, favorite young people in Franklin County. These children, you may have a seat. These children are from Twice as Smart, an after-school enrichment program led by the program's founder, Gloria Matlock. Gloria began this program in her living room and has now grown to serve 20 children ages 6 to 14. With the aid of volunteer tutors, Twice as Smart provides instruction in reading, writing, and mathematics, as well as historical lessons related to the children's own backgrounds. This program also works to create a community of kindness, where older students help teach younger peers, and where it all serve the wider community in a variety of ways. The positive outcome of this program is evidenced by an increased academic success and participation. The students have improved their grades in school and increased their reading, writing, and math skills. Please welcome the children as children of Twice as Smart and their director, Gloria Matlock.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. We are representing today Twice as Smart and Musica Franklin because we're all in the same, all this Twice as Smart students go to Musica Franklin as well. So our first song we're going to do is a song from Botswana. It's called Oyele. And does anybody know what that means? Can somebody tell? Okay, say it. Yeah, say it. Say it together. Yeah.
It means celebrate.
That song was from Botswana. The next one is from Nigeria, and it's called Mr. Follow, Follow. Mr.
Follow, follow. Mr. Follow, follow. Mr. Follow, 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 follow. Some they follow, follow them, close them eyes, bim, bim, bim. Some they follow, follow them, close them ears, boing, boing, boing. Some they follow, follow them, close them mouth, bim, bim, bim. Some they follow, follow them, close them, sense, bitty, bitty, bitty. Mr. Follow, follow. Mr. Follow, follow. Mr. Follow, 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 follow. Think for yourself. Think for yourself. Think for yourself.
Yeah. The next one, it's called Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Me Around. And feel free to join us if you know the words.
Let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Keep on a walking, keep on a talking, marching into freedom's land.
last song we're doing is called,
Stand up.
the last song we're doing is called Stand Up.
I don't think I needed to say that. Miss Matlock, she already did. Well, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, what I can for my people. When the stars go back and the stars through the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones. Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, gonna start moving towards the separating line. Pretty through mighty waters, you know I gotta make up mine. And I don't mind if I lose any blood, another way to salvation. And I fight with the strength that I got until I die. So I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gotta keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones.
Thank you, Gloria, and twice as smart. This concludes today's program. Please stand as the platform party processes out of the tent, and we hope that you will join us for the reception in the Cone Dining Commons. Thank you so much.
Yes.